Right now you can see that the wipers are not moving, but the moment I do this, look at that. Another year, another opportunity to try again. It is 2024. We're going to try harder than we did before. If you're new to the channel, this is my Golf Mark 1 that I bought in 2023. We still have a bunch of projects that we need to do. This project we need to do it on this year, and this one by the end of February this car will be driving, and that one still needs a little bit of maintenance, which is still my daily right now. There's a lot of work that went into this car, such as removing the crusty old side. We were able to take the car to a Panel Peters to get a fresh new paint. We bought brand new set of mud flaps, which really complemented the color of the car, really changed the rear look of the car. We also managed to fit a brand new front lip, which was fairly easy to install. The seats were so dirty, I had no choice but to clean them. I also did the same thing on the interior of the car. My girlfriend decided to tag along and help me clean up the seat. Even managed to fit new door handles, which was easy to install and really transformed the look. Painting the car, in the brakes and the clash, just one of the things that we did to improve the Golf. And there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. On the previous video, we left the car in a bad state. We managed to do petrol gauge to work. The petrol gauge now works perfectly. We managed to do the rear light. They were working sometimes they were not working, but now they're working 100%. The wires are still left untouched the way they were at the last part of the video. On this video, what I'm aiming to do is the indicators, which was the culprit to my problems from the beginning. I think if I could be able to do the indicators, I'll be able to rest with no problem. Due to having a faulty control box is the reason why majority of things were not working, but I managed to bypass everything so that I can do it the way I think it's supposed to be done, so that we won't have to buy that expensive part, which is the control box. Because I've been fighting with the indicators for so long, I think I have a solution. The solution is to do it the way they do the Toyotas. So I went ahead and bought a flasher unit. With the flasher unit, I bought terminals, I bought fuses, and I also bought another terminal just in case if those ones are short. And this is the flasher unit, but I'm not entirely sure it's the right one because it says relay headlight. And hopefully it works on the cluster, because on the cluster is the only thing that makes me gives me worries, because there is a possibility of the cluster not working at all. With that all being said, let's go ahead and fix the wiring. Now that the petrol gauge is working, the rear lights are working, brake lights are working perfectly, it is time to do the indicators. The first thing to do is locate the wires for the indicator. The black and white wire is for the passenger side indicator, and the black and green is for the driver side indicator. This box right here is responsible for the alarm and for the indicators. It works as a flash unit. But since it's not receiving power from the control box, it will not flash at all. Since I've found both of the wires, the left and the right side of the indicators, now it's time to use my method, or should I say, I'm going to use the Toyota method. We do have the black and white wire. And over here, we also have the black and white wire, where it is controlled by this. It is only plugged under here, and this is responsible for giving the signal. What I've managed to do is check if the indicators will work with this, because I almost thought this was the issue and I was about to remove the steering wheel. I also found that the green is for the right side of the indicator. That being in mind, this is what the car will be using as for the indicators. Will no longer be using the control box. That's the reason why I've cut this wire over here, and this wire is no longer working. The issue that I have with the control box is this is the most dumbest design ever. The reason for me saying it's the dumbest design ever is because it is in control of everything, like almost everything, and if one thing breaks, you need to replace it all. To me, it's a dumb design, because if it was working with something else, let's just say if the flasher unit was this and the flasher unit blows, then I'll just have to replace the flasher unit only. I only have to replace the petrol gauge or the petrol wires or petrol unit, whatever. I'll just have to replace this only. Then everything will go back to normal. and the price will be for this only. So back to the wiring. We have this for the indicators. We're going to plug it for the indicators. This is for the power wire. This is for the horn. I cut it by mistake. This is for ground to allow these two to receive power. Connecting the flasher unit is pretty much easy. We have the power wire and the signal wire. The power wire has a letter X and the signal wire has a letter L. For demonstration purposes, you can see the black wire is on the signal, which was the ground. And over here, you can see the black is over there. So let me show you how it will work. Now I'm going to plug. Let me plug it back. Let's plug in the battery. Now the battery is plugged. Let's do the indicators. So I'm going to put it on again. There we go. When you do this, you must make sure there's a fuse between. I'm going to do a fuse after everything because now I'm still trying to find all the wires. The only thing that will be left is making this two to work. I know my channel says OEM, but sometimes you just have to do what you gotta do to make things work. This thing was too expensive to a point where I know this is going to break again and it will cost me more money than if I just do it the way I'm doing it. So at the rear, everything works except for the number plate lights. The number plate lights are the ones that they don't work yet. At the front, the headlight work, the bright light, they do work, but everything works at the front. The only thing that is left for us now is the temperature, or is it the temperature or the coolant level gauge or gauge level, whatever. But that is what is left right now. So for the wipers, the reason why the wipers are not working is because this part is not receiving power. This is supposed to have consistent amount of power, but it does not have consistent amount. This one has power always, and this one doesn't have power, and the fuses are not working there because you can see that the car has been touched before. So I'm going to bypass it and see what will happen. So because of, if this has power, then the rest of the wipers will have power and we are all complete, we're done. And also I need to add a radio into the car and some speakers. So, but I'm not going to add something big. I was planning on adding something big like 15-inch speakers with 2 amplifiers and a crossover, maybe a double dent tape, but I'm still not sure if I'm going to do that. We're going to see, because after everything I'm going to do the engine service. So I'm going to service the engine, and I think the car will be fresh at that time. The wipers, we have already found the wipers. The wipers, they work perfectly. I'm going to continue with the wires, and I'm going to see if I'll be able to make this two work. If I'll be able to, but I'm going to try to make a fuse from here. This wire over here that goes straight from there, I'm going to cut it, and it's going to be here. There's going to be fuse. It's going to be here, and there's going to be fuse between. Like I was doing on the last video, I'm going to update you guys on everything that I'm doing, and I'm going to try to provide as much knowledge as possible. But this is the point where we are almost done with the wiring. We found almost everything, and the most important thing that was worrying me is the control box. And now the control box is no longer needed because almost everything works. The things that work for the control box, now they work without the control box. I think I'll call that a win. What I want to do now is open up the cluster to see if there is a possible way I can hack it. I want the indicators to also show on the cluster, because the wires that connect to the cluster, they don't work with without the control box. Just being really careful so that I won't break anything at all. I don't know why Volkswagen keeps on coming up with these ideas, but these are worst ideas, especially for customers, because this works with LED lights, and the LED lights that are unreplaceable unless you are a technician. Because I thought maybe we could be able to maybe hack it or find a way to make it work, but the way it is, we cannot. Which means if you have a cluster like this and one LED light stop working, and you're that type of a person who wants to see their car, who want to see everything working, then you're going to have a problem, because you need to replace it all, because you cannot replace that one LED light. Where are you going to buy it? This is one of the dumbest idea, because everything on a car is going to break at some point. So this is very dumb. I don't get it. Why? Because I cannot replace the LED light, or I cannot do anything with the LED light. So this, I'm going to leave it the way it is. Maybe one day I'll find a solution, but the solution will be there. Then we're going to see what's going to happen. I feel like some of you are going to hate me for doing this to the car. So, but I'm actually doing it professionally, the way it must be done. The car won't burn. Nothing's going to happen to the car. I'm 100% sure. And the thing about this method that I'm doing is that you can actually replace one thing, not replace everything. So, yeah, because with the control box, if the indicators are not working, you need to replace the whole control box, even though the gauge is working, even though other things are working. But you must replace it, and it's expensive. So this way, I won't have to replace anything else. If something breaks, then I'll just have to replace that one thing. So this one is for the driver's side. I already cut this part, so we're going to put it here. So I'm going to cut it now. There we go. So this will be together like these ones. So I've tested the wipers, and I know the wipers work, but I don't know what's the issue. Now the wipers are on, but they are not working, and I just found that there's a connection issue. So I don't know. So right now you can see that the wipers are not moving, but the moment I do this, look at that. I leave it. Check that. There's a connection issue somewhere. So see, now they are working. Now they're not working. Now they are working. Okay. So we know that there's a connection issue. We're going to try to fix that. So let me turn them off. See? Now they're off. They cannot work at all now. So we got the indicators down. We got the wipers down. No, not really, because the wipers we're trying to make, we are going to try to make the connection work, because there's a connection problem there. So, but we got it working. Let me show you how I did it, or because I think that it also requires a control box to work, but this is the way I did it, and I think is the only way I could do it. And with the way I did it, it's not really, it is the right way to do it, but I didn't do it. It doesn't look good. Here we have a fuse. You can see I have two terminals over there. Here's a fuse. Is a 10. So this one is the most fragile one. So if anything goes wrong, it will quickly blow. Quickly. So I'm just going to put it over here, so that if the wipers are not working, I know that I should remove the cover, this cover, and the top cover. Then I'll find the fuse, and I'll just replace the fuse, or I'll check what is the issue. And over here, what I've done, the worst job ever, is I made two fuses, this fuse and this fuse for the indicators. The top one is for the indicators and this one is for the petrol gauge. So now I want to take the bumper off, and I know I'm still going to take the bumper off later on in the future, but I want to do the indicator. So I already taken out this indicator. It was hold by this screws. It's just two of them, 1, 2, and the same on that side. So I'm just going to remove the bumper because the bumper is not really that much tight, because I still need some bumper bracket. If you can see, there's no bumper bracket over there, so I still need some bumper brackets, but for now I'm just going to remove it so that the indicators at the front will work, and next time I will focus on another task, not the same task. Well, I'm super lazy, so I decided not to remove the bumper but to extend the wires at the back so that it will be much easier when they come to the front. So I'm not going to remove the bumper, I'm just going to extend them. So here are the two wires, the black and the brown. So we have the black and the brown over here from this. So this is the black and the brown that we're going to connect here, but we're going to extend them. So now the wires, now here are the two wires that I have extended. Let's see if this will work, but I know that it's supposed to work. So I'm just going to put it here and we're going to see if it will work. I'm gonna put the car on and we'll see. Yes, it works. Works at the front and even here at the back. So yeah, so I'm just gonna do that side, and this side is done. It's getting pretty late. I'm not gonna stop now. I'm just going to continue. I'm going to do the same thing. Is I'm going to extend the wires from that side. Then tomorrow I'm going to update you guys what I've done. But for now I'm just going to stop. I'm going to stop recording here, but tomorrow I'm going to update you guys what I'm doing, because we still have more things to do. So yeah.